Everybody, I hope you're keeping well, and this is a little sort of unscripted follow-up video to the little walkthroughs and sort of sneak peeks at Sanctuary, which is my latest library for Omnisphere, and it's taken 12 months to put this together, and it's all based around the organ and a little bit of smattering of hymn books and a little bit of smattering of vocals, but it's mainly about pipe organ sounds. If you haven't watched the walkthroughs, they're in the links below in the description. But basically, I've been an organist for over 25 years now, and I have access to a lot of organs in the local area. And Jason over at Rocky Mountain Sounds and myself thought it would be a fantastic idea if I go and sampled them. Oh boy, did I sample them. We have over 100 different sound sources to play with. So you're not only just getting these 240 patches, you're going to, and 40 multis as well, don't forget the multis, but you're getting over 100 unique sound sources to use to create your own sounds and music. You can't use them to release your own libraries, but you can use them for your own music. And basically, I thought it'd be a good idea just take a little bit of a deep dive into some of these samples so you get an idea that although we've turned them into synth sounds, they are actually organ sounds behind there. And what I did, I decided to name them after sort of the brightest stars in the galaxy, because I do love my astronomy. So without further ado, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just initialize the patch and just go to sample, click on empty, and on the drop down we are going to go to where am I going to? Let's just nip back to sound source browser again. Sorry, let's just get this right. User directories. No. Why am I not seeing? That's better. User directories. So I need to go down to RMS Sanctuary. So Sanctuary for Nylon Sky is exactly the same set of samples, so don't worry about that. They're exactly the same. There's no extra effects on them. The reason why we've got to call them with an SE on the end, or something else on the end, is the way Omnisphere library works, in the sense of it will not allow you to install the same type of patch library that will attract the same sample. It just has a mental fit for some bizarre reason. So the only way you can actually do it is to have two separate sort of folders for them. So let's just take Adhara as an example. This is an organ sound. So that's very playable on its own, but then you can just go a bit mad with this and say, right, I tell you what, we'll just stick some reverb on. So if I just put some proverb on, and now play, and on the down arrow here, on the effects section, it brings up presets, so you can go long reverbs, and we want, let's try room. Was one for a cathedral or something like that. Should be one for a cathedral. Concert hall, that'll do. So straight away, you've got a very usable organ sound. So what we're going to do, we're going to mute that layer, and we'll go into second layer and say, I'll tell you what, there is an organ sound here that is my absolute favourite of the lot. It's called Sirius. That is absolute beautiful organ sound. Yes, there was a bit of reverb on there. If I take the reverb off, still sounds beautiful. Now if I mix that now with Adhara, we have this. And you can actually hear the pipes breathing as well. There's like a bit of a shh sound as I play, and that's from the ambience of the actual church that these were recorded in. So we now actually have organs within Omnisphere, which, as far as I'm aware, has never been done before. So what I'm going to do is layer C, and layer C, I'm just going to pick another organ at random. Let's go for Menkelinen. Now some of these are going to be a bit low in the organ, as in we used the pedal stops. Well, myself, I sat there because Jason's over in Canada, so he couldn't help me do this. I'm in England, and I recorded some of the pedal stops as well. Now this is one of the flute stops. Now that's a beautiful sound, that. It's a lovely flute sound. I'm trying to find one of these that's a nice and that's a beautiful sound. Now that is a pedal. That sounds like a 16-foot to me, that. And might even actually be a 32. But here we go. So you just designed your own organ sound in a matter of moments, and we haven't touched any of the FM, ring modulation, wave shaping, unison, harmonium, granular, not even put it through a filter. We've just literally loaded up 4 samples, slapped a reverb on, and you got a very, very usable organ sound straight out of the box. So I'm just going to clear these again. Let's go initialize. Do initialize multi, make sure there's nothing on anything else. In here, we also have some very, very interesting samples for you to play with. You'll notice we've got someone here that, say, Angelus or Andante. Now, if I bring up Angelus here and I just play middle C, you get something very interesting. It's literally near enough a 2-minute piece of organ music. Now, you think, what is the point of that within Omnisphere? Very simple, granular. Stick a filter on. And that's how some of these textures were actually created from Sanctuary the Library. Because if we look, we've got one called Flyby, and I used a piece called Andante with an organ stop, and we get this. So if we want to know what Andante sounds like, I just initialize patch. and I just go into layer A and just bring Andante up, we have this. So that's a beautiful piece of organ music there, and there's several in here. I'm trying to think where else was another one. There's Largo. And then we have a piece called O Crux Ave. I couldn't tell you who wrote this. It's anonymous, but we sing it as a choir, as a choral, because it's got words, O Crux Ave, and we sing it as a 4-part unaccompanied piece and during Good Friday in the church, and we have this on the organ. Now, the interesting thing with all those organ pieces that I've played you is that organ no longer exists. It's defunct. It's in the trash can somewhere, because sadly it's an organ I played at the church I'm at for, I think it must have been about, for 18, 19 years, and we had to replace it because it just suddenly dissolved and disintegrated with woodworm, basically. I remember the last time I played it, one of the pedal stops I had hit the bottom C, and it was on the final hymn I ever played on that organ, and I thought the pipe was actually going to fall down and collapse on top of me, because it made such a rattling noise and I could literally see it moving, and I thought, that isn't good. No wonder it wasn't good. The chestboard that holds the pipes, well, when they came to take it out, it just disintegrated in the hands, which isn't a good sign. So what else have we got in this library? We have in here, let's go for some vocal sounds we've got. Now, I am the greatest singer in the world. I am a tenor in the choir, as well as an organist and music director. When we do unaccompanied pieces, I sing the tenor line. And I thought it'd be great to put my voice into Omnisphere and morph it and warp it into something else. Ooh. So that's me singing ooh, and me singing ah. Ah. Thankfully, I'm able to sing middle C without a problem, so it doesn't take too much for the way of tuning there, and the little vibrato in the voice adds some natural effect to it. So what happened with that? Oh, before I do that, we actually need to just bring up something else, because I actually did some other things, like I sung and I spoke into phrases into sample for Omnisphere. Gloria, Gloria et Patre et Filio. And then I did some speaking. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. And then what we did, we went to vocals and we just put in the R, the nomine. I'll come to the hymn flicks in a minute. And we'll just use another one there. We used the E, the Gloria, and the U. Do another one. We use Gloria, Ave Crux Spes Unica, and R. Move them up a bit and get some crunch. So you can do an awful lot with the voice on this, which is quite interesting. Now if I just initialize patch again, there's one last thing to actually show you. And I decided to add some percussion to this after a nice little nudge from Jason to say it'd be great to have percussion in this library. And I thought, how on earth am I going to do percussion with an organ? I thought, hang on a second. I've got these whopping great big hymn books, not the little tiny ones you find in the pews for the congregation. I am talking about the full fat music versions that you find in the organ console, where if I threw that book at you, it'll either knock you out or kill you. They're that heavy. I do actually have one that I don't know why they made it the size it is, because it doesn't fit on the music stand. It's that thick. So what I did was sampled it. And what I did this is literally me hitting and thumping the hymnal. And then I riffled through some of those pages as well. Now I think that's all there is for the percussion side of things, if I remember rightly. Yeah, that's all there is. Now, what I did with that is if we just go into Iona Terra, and I used the couple of kicks there and layered them. Went into, let's go Dresda. Again, a couple of kicks. Elvira. And this is pitched, so you can make it deep if you want. Coronas, again, uses the kicks. Now we use some flicks on this with a kick meteoroid fragment. Now with percussion, don't be afraid to use it high up the keyboard like I did there. And then we have Erda. Now Erda uses an organ sample mixed with a kick there. Now we've taken a quick tour through these samples. Let's see what happened when we actually made multis from these patches that I put together. So if I go to Sanctuary and we say, let's go for percussion, some percussion. Tell you what, this is the one I want to play, Erda the Beautiful. Now this has some percussion, a synth, an oar pad and another synth. And we get this. You could do a whole track with that particular sound. So what we have is the Erda from percussion, which is the hymn kick with an organ sound, and then the synth sound uses just the organs as well, organ patches. There's nothing, absolutely nothing extra on there, although that says sub, it's not even activated. So the only two layers that are activated are again the organ layers, and the same with this. Move the mod wheel and get a bit more. So you can lose the kick and then close the mod wheel and you get the kick back. So that's been a quick tour through the samples that we used to put this library together. You can pick your copy up by following the links below in the description. And remember, stay creative, stay sonic, and I'll catch you in the next one.